It was supposed to be an exciting day for Jamal. After months of job hunting, countless interviews, and the long wait for a chance to prove himself, he had finally secured a position at Lawson and Company, one of the most reputable marketing firms in the city. He had put in the work, aced the interviews, and earned his spot. Today was his first day. Jamal had always dreamed of working in the corporate world, especially in a field where creativity and strategy intersected. Growing up in a working-class neighborhood, he was accustomed to seeing success as something only a few could reach. But now, he had beaten the odds and was ready to start a new chapter. Little did he know, his excitement was about to be overshadowed by something far more sinister. As Jamal walked through the gleaming glass doors of Lawson and Co, he was greeted by his new manager, Anna, a friendly woman in her early 30s with a warm smile. She gave him a quick tour of the office, introducing him to a few colleagues along the way. Everyone seemed welcoming enough, except for one person, Thomas. Thomas had been at Lawson and Company for almost 5 years. He was an experienced employee, well-connected, and known for his outspoken views. On the surface, he appeared charming and friendly, but Jamal could sense something unsettling about him. His interactions with Jamal were curt and cold, often punctuated by side-eye glances and passive-aggressive comments. Jamal tried to brush it off, chalking it up to nerves on his first day. But as the days passed, he began to notice a pattern. Whenever Jamal asked questions or sought advice from Thomas, he received nothing but dismissive responses. "You should know that already," Thomas would mutter, or "That's not how we do things around here," with a sneer that made Jamal feel small. At first, Jamal assumed Thomas was just a difficult personality, someone who didn't have the time of day for new hires. But soon he realized there was more to it than that. Thomas wasn't just being rude. He was actively trying to sabotage Jamal's efforts. The worst part? He was doing it with a smile. One afternoon, Jamal was working on an important client presentation, a task his manager had assigned to him as part of his onboarding process. He had spent hours meticulously preparing the slides, researching the client's needs, and tailoring the content to ensure it was perfect. He was excited to show his work the next morning during the team meeting, but when he arrived at the office, something seemed off. The projector screen flickered to life, and to Jamal's horror, the presentation he had spent so much time on wasn't his. It was a version of his slides, but someone had made significant changes. The data was wrong, key points were missing, and the flow of the presentation was completely disjointed. It was a disaster. His heart sank as he realized what had happened. Thomas had tampered with his work. Jamal's first instinct was to approach his manager, but before he could, Thomas walked in with an arrogant grin plastered on his face. "Here's your presentation," Thomas said, handing Jamal a flash drive with a cocky smile. "I hope you have a backup, because this doesn't look good for you." Jamal's mind raced, but he kept his composure. "What do you mean?" he asked, trying to remain calm. Thomas shrugged nonchalantly. "I don't know. Maybe you should have paid more attention to detail. You should have checked your work before you presented it." Jamal felt a cold shiver run down his spine. Thomas was clearly trying to undermine him, but this was more than just a work issue. It was personal. Jamal knew that the sabotaged presentation would make him look incompetent, and that was exactly what Thomas wanted. But Jamal wasn't about to let him get away with it. Not this time. Later that day, Jamal stayed late at the office, determined to fix the mess Thomas had created. He worked tirelessly, pulling up every file, double-checking every statistic, and correcting every mistake that had been made. His fingers flew over the keyboard, his focus unwavering. The clock ticked well past midnight when he finally finished the corrected version of the presentation. But Jamal didn't stop there. He knew he had to prove something. He wasn't just going to fix the presentation, he was going to make it better than it had ever been. With the new presentation ready, Jamal sent an email to his manager, Anna, explaining what had happened. He attached the original, corrected version of the presentation and asked if she would take a look before the next team meeting. Anna responded almost immediately, assuring him she would review it and asked him to come to her office first thing in the morning. The next morning, Jamal entered Anna's office with a sense of resolve. He had done everything he could, and now it was up to her to see the truth. Anna greeted him with a kind smile and gestured for him to sit. The next morning, Jamal entered Anna's office with a sense of resolve. He had done everything he could, and now it was up to her to see the truth. Anna greeted him with a kind smile and gestured for him to sit. "I've looked over the presentation, and I have to say, it's fantastic. Much better than the one Thomas submitted," Anna said, looking at him with newfound respect. "I'm so impressed with your dedication, Jamal." Jamal's heart lifted, but he knew the battle wasn't over. "Thank you, Anna, but I need to tell you something. I'm not sure if you noticed, but the version of the presentation that was shown to the team yesterday wasn't mine. Someone, Thomas, made significant changes to it." Anna's face hardened slightly as she listened to Jamal's account of what had happened. She nodded thoughtfully. "I had a feeling something wasn't right," she said. "I'll handle it, don't worry. This isn't the first time Thomas has acted like this, but it will be the last." The following day, Jamal was summoned to a meeting with Anna and HR. He had no idea what to expect, but when he walked into the room, he was met with an unexpected surprise. Anna, with a stern but composed expression, addressed the situation. "Thomas, we've been made aware of your actions toward Jamal, and this behavior is completely unacceptable. You have repeatedly undermined a colleague's work and tried to sabotage their success. This is a violation of our company values and our code of conduct. Effective immediately, you are being placed on probation." Thomas's face turned pale as he realized the gravity of the situation. "This is ridiculous," he protested. "I was just trying to help him. He's just a new guy, and I was showing him the ropes." Anna raised her hand to silence him. "No, Thomas, you were bullying him, and that ends now. We will not tolerate any form of discrimination or sabotage in this office." Jamal couldn't believe what he was hearing. For the first time since he had started, he felt like someone in the company was standing up for him. But the shock didn't end there. In the days that followed, Jamal noticed a shift in the office. People began to approach him, offering congratulations on handling the situation with grace. Anna personally apologized to him for not recognizing the issue sooner, and she made it clear that Jamal had a future at Lawson and Co. As for Thomas, well, after a few more incidents of trying to undermine his colleagues, he was let go. No one was surprised when he was shown the door. Jamal's victory wasn't just about standing up to Thomas. It was about reclaiming his dignity and proving that no one, no matter their position or attitude, had the right to make him feel inferior. By standing his ground and doing the work, Jamal showed that he was more than capable of overcoming the challenges thrown his way. And what's even more remarkable, this experience pushed Jamal to a new level of confidence. He became a respected team member, eventually rising to leadership roles within the company. all the while proving that no one, not even the most toxic of coworkers, could take away his worth. If Jamal's story inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories of courage, perseverance, and overcoming adversity. Your journey could be next.